Aloha, I'm Naka Nathaniel, editor-at-large here at Civil Beat. I'm joined by Kevin Fujii, the staff photographer, and I want to talk to you, Kevin, about some of your amazing images that have appeared on Civil Beat. I know as a photographer, one of the things you really have to do is get into place, but once you're in place, you also have to anticipate what's going on. I love this image of the swimmer in the wave. Can you tell me about it?
Sure. I was photographing some honu that were trapped, some honu hatchlings that were trapped in the sand. And it's Sandy Beach, it's a famous boogie and bodyboarding spot. And I turn around and I look and I see this guy in the wave and he does this starfish. And I think, oh, that's a cool photo. And I go back to the turtles and I keep turning around, looking over my shoulder. And then I see him back out there and he just gets trapped in the wave again. And I just pop off a few frames and then I'm back to the turtles. So, that, you're right, it is all about timing. It is like any sport where you're focusing on the peak action. And the peak action here is when the wave reaches its crest. The human is in the wall of water and speaks for itself.
It's a beautiful, striking photo.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Yeah, one of the things, too, about anticipating, being in moments, especially when you're in crowds, that, like this photo that you took here of the Lahaina Luna football team, being in the middle of, all this, the sea of humanity. And what were you looking for when you took the photo?
I was looking for an emotional connection, something that brought the community together after the August 8th fires. And the junior varsity, they were walking off the field and I was with them on the field, but as they were walking through the crowd, I followed with them and I wasn't focused so much on the players. I was watching all the people. So like there's a little girl in the foreground and she's screaming and, she's allowed to be a kid again instead of moving from place to place. And there's adults in the photograph that are smiling. You can see that they're beaming with pride. And to me, just being in that crowd, while I'm not a big fan of being in crowds, because it's hard to take pictures when you're pressed up against people. I just thought for a community, this was a really powerful moment.
Speaking of Lahaina, one of the most striking images that's ever appeared on Civil Beat is the aerial that you took of the house that was basically unscathed in Lahaina. Can you tell me about that photo?
Sure. So I contacted the office, asked if we can get into a helicopter. Of course, helicopters aren't cheap. Drones weren't able to fly into Lahaina at the time. And I'm not a drone pilot. So I wanted to be in the air, photographing all the destruction and damage from above just to give people a sense of scale. Turns out there was a Sky TV crew from the UK who also wanted to get in the helicopter. So that offset our costs from half of a full helicopter to a half, and then his crew wanted to get on the helicopter, so my cost was a fifth. So our accountants were very happy. And you're just flying through the air, doors are off, and you're just photographing everything that comes into view, everything that you're seeing. This house was actually a surprise as we were flying south along the coast. I was on this side of the helicopter. I'm going to say it's the starboard or the port side. And I see this untouched house and I'm photographing it and we're going so fast. It's one frame at an angle, the frame straight on that we're looking at now. And then the next frame is when we've already passed it. And then the next two frames after that, you see the producer from Sky TV. You see her arm sticking out, pointing at something.
So you weren't even hovering when this
no.
when this image was taken. It was just in the moment. You had no idea that the house had been left untouched
until I saw it.
It was the first time you had seen it. That's remarkable. What was it like shooting above in Lahaina? Yeah, this is a couple days after.
It's 2 days after. It was August 10th. And I've flown over other disaster zones, so but just to see an entire town destroyed was just heartbreaking. And that's why I love having a camera in front of my face, is I can kind of hide my emotions behind it.
Yeah, that is one of the photographer's secrets, is that you do have a big metal box in front of your face to acts as a very good mask. So, well, we really thank you for sharing these images and the stories behind them. These are remarkable, and of course, you can see plenty of them on civilbeat.org.